Welcome to Grandma's Attic. Guess what? The interviewer has changed hands. And today is, or tonight is my chance to interview someone very, very important. And so we are very lucky to have Ames. And we are going to learn all about why and how she is running for city council. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you for flipping my brain and telling me to allow you, I don't know how to do this, to let you interview me. Running for city council is so, so important right now.
And I'm going to ask you, of course, why? Why now? Why are you in this race right now?
Whew. That's a really huge question with a bunch of sub-answers, but let me start at the very beginning. Several years ago, I campaigned. I was living still in Norwich, but I was doing all kinds of stuff in New London just because that's what I did. And a young man named Daryl Finizio was running for mayor. And it was well known that he was gay, and it was well known that he was not invested in the same garbage that was starting to tear our city down. And I campaigned for him like there was no tomorrow. And in front of a whole pier of people one day, he said, "This is Ames. She is an honorary member of New London." Now, I'd always wanted to live in New London. Anyway, I ended up moving to New London. Then I met up with this woman, Rona, and her husband, Bob, was part of the camera crew for my first show for a long time. And she kept saying to me, "You need to run for office, you need to run for office." And I was like, I'm not an officer, I'm not political. So I didn't. And I was doing other things anyway. And then 2 years ago, I walked into my polling place and I heard two people that I recognized as being part of the city. And I wasn't really sure what part of the city they were from, but one of them said to the other, "We don't have to worry about our jobs. They'll vote across the line and we'll save our jobs." And my brain tweaked. I mean, it tweaked. So how dare they malign the voting? Don't tell people to vote across the line. Tell people to look for names that they know. Think of faces that they know that go with those names. Look at people that are invested in your city and look at what the city council is doing to your city. And I walked out the door and I walked over to Rona and I said, "That's it, I'm in." And she kind of got a look on her face. I said, "I'm running for city council." And I thought she was going to do the jig. She was so happy, and she's been invested in me ever since, getting me to do this and that and this and that. And she told me to do this. And so now I'm a notary of the public. I'm a justice of the peace. I was already working towards my master's. I have my license as a master's social worker, and I do everything I can in the city of New London to help the city. Running for city council is just, I've said it before, it's just cream cheese frosting on my already red velvet cake. I love New London. I love New London. I love everything that New London is supposed to stand for. I love the way that our city has one of the best homeless cares. Like, we care for the homeless, whether they come from this person or this person, wherever they come from, they come into our city and we take care of them, and so many other things. There's also things, and I have a list of them, and they're not going right. And right off the top of that, let's talk about fiscal irresponsibility. Oh my gosh, right? If you're going to take care of my money, you better take care of it so it's being used for my community. Not to make things worse, not to make your name be glorified, but to make sure my community grows and prospers and feels like it can thrive.
That's excellent. And so you didn't want them to assume that they were just going to sit back.
No, and nobody running for any office should ever assume that they're going to get voted in. Who the hell do you think you are, assuming that just because your name's on a ballot under a line that's been on the line for the last 10 years that you're going to get voted in? Now, just to back that up, I do not assume, not even for 1 second, that I'm going to get elected. But I'm damn straight going to run, and I'm going to run hard, and I'm going to say my truth.
I will also say, because I do know this to be true, that if you have a positive outlook and you say, when I win, versus I'm not going to win, you have a better chance at
so
it.
when I win, I will be a very positive addition to the city council. And when I debate against other city council people, I will bring that positivity to it. The bottom line is, people have asked me what my platform is, and when I've told them, they've given me a crazy look. So go ahead. What is your
platform? No, I was going to ask that anyway.
You were?
I was, because I was going to ask, how are you different than the other people who are running? So
there's a lot of reasons I'm different. Number one, I'm not a politician. I've never been in office. The highest political office I ever had was I was patrol leader in my Girl Scout group when I was like, I don't know. But why am I running? What is my platform?
That's exactly it.
You tell me, what is my platform? You know the word.
Yeah, kindness, for sure. Kindness.
That's it. Let me tell you, oh my goodness, I just got goosebumps. Because kindness, I read this book several mornings, but not every morning. It's the Stoic, what is it? The Stoic, whatever. There's 365 days of Stoic. And October is virtue and kindness. And I'm like, I'm going to read it all month. Kindness is a superpower. If I take every issue that's brought to me as a city council member and I look, is it ethical? Is it good for my community? Is it good for us fiscally? And is it good for our equality? If it's good for those things, then I'll vote yes. If it doesn't take care of the responsibilities that the city council is supposed to take care of with kindness, then I'm not going to vote for it. Be kind to your neighbors. Be kind to your city. Be kind to the people around you. Don't go behind people's backs, behind locked doors, and make decisions that hurt people. Don't go behind locked doors and vote on things that people don't know you're voting on. We're supposed to be able to know as community members what's going on behind those closed doors. And it has to do all the way through with kindness. Kindness wins. Kindness and love cure everything. I know you're going to have something to say to me about that you're going to say, that's not true. You can't fix this with kindness. I'm like, I guarantee that whatever question you give me, I can answer with a form of kindness. That's just how it is. Kindness is my platform.
What do you think your high priorities are, like for the first?
Oh my goodness. So, there's a bunch of stuff, but I really think we have to take a look at the way our city interacts with ICE and how we're dealing with immigrant safety. So first of all, I think we need to point out that, just saying, this country, the United States of America, was founded on immigration. Immigrants coming. How many people out there don't have immigrants as forefathers? All of you, unless you're indigenous, and then you were here first and you have a right to be here in your own land, wherever you want to be. So everybody, y'all, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 5, or 10 generations back, if you're here, you're immigrant. So what right do we have to say because of someone's tone of voice, color, or whatever? Now, let me fix some of that for you. I believe that the way that some people are coming into this country is shady. And I believe that people that are coming into this country that don't know what the rules are, okay? It's really easy to not speak this language and not know what all the rules are. So for me, I believe that before we start arresting people and doing mass deportations, let's talk to them. Let's see if we can teach them, if they want to be part of the United States of America, how to do it. Teach them the things, the laws that they have to know, and the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Those are things you have to know if you're going to become an American.
And literacy.
Okay, let's teach people how to become citizens. And if they are not willing to do that, then kindly we can put them on a boat or on a plane and send them back to their country of origin. Now, if there's a war going on there or some other terrible, horrible, no good investment in humanity, then maybe we won't send them back there. But people have got to be given the right to know what America really stands for. And that's diversity, inclusivity, and love. We brought that here. When the Pilgrims came, who weren't the first people to get here, by the way, but when they came, the people, the indigenous that they found here, helped them get through that first horrible winter. And then they celebrated after they had a year together. And then they celebrated. And they had a dinner that was huge, a Thanksgiving we call it now. But the indigenous people brought these immigrants together, taught them to plant seeds with fish in the dirt. Just saying, it helped. Taught them to plant, taught them to grow, taught them to build buildings that would withstand the winters that were harsh here that these people didn't understand. We need to take a look at what ICE is doing, and in our communities we need to fix how our neighbors, our friends, the people our kids go to school with, those little kids don't deserve to have their parents ripped away for no reason. Let's help them through the process. So that's one of my top things that I feel very strong. Not that I'm not passionate about everything.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But that's right on the top. There's other things that come in line, and I'd like to touch on as much of them as we can. But we seem to have a problem with our charter. And when lawmakers don't follow the law, just think on that for a while. Our charter needs to be looked at. It needs to be maybe recreated, but it certainly needs to be looked at, and look at the people that are affected by the rules of the charter and make it right. I know that people that are appointed to office are typically given 1 year to become citizens of New London. I had made a statement in a Green Party meeting about people not being New London residents that are in positions of authority in our town. And I was straightened out on it. But the fact is that there are people in New London that have not lived in New London. One that worked as a top management position for a long time before they finally moved to New London. If you're going to be on the city council, now I believe that all the city council members at this moment are all residents of New London, so yay for that. But if you're going to live in Stonington and run for city council in New London, I have one question for you. Why? City council members should be part of this community that they live in. They should be invested in what's going on in the city. They should be invested in what's going on activity-wise, arts-wise, culture-wise, building-wise. What buildings are we investing in? What buildings are we going to spend money on? And let's also think of one more small part. What the heck are we going to do with the homeless influx? The people that are coming from the rural areas that are being brought to us because we have a place for them, which we really don't. We have a place for them, and our homeless hospitality center has done more for homeless people than anywhere else. So I can't say enough about what Kathy Zoll has led as far as putting things in place to help our housing insecurity people. We have people with housing insecurity and people that are homeless and people that are chronically homeless. Now, don't look at me and say, they're all drug addicts and drunks. Let me tell you a little secret. You're full of, you're not, it's not correct. I'll tell you who the most affected people are that are homeless. And I hope it makes you cry. And I'll start with the easy ones. Single parents that are trying to work to support a home that can't afford their apartment and have children that need clothes, that need school funds, that need, you name it. So we've got single parents. That's these people, okay? Then we've got, and this one hurts bad, our vets. Why are vets homeless in this country? Why are the men and women that went to war to give us the freedoms that we have living under a bridge? Does something about that seem wrong to you? Well, it freaks me out. It makes me angry, and it makes me want to fight for my vets. I believe that every vet, when they come home from war, when they're done their time, have a home over their head, them and their families. And if someone is lost, killed, however you want to word it, let me couch your word for you. When someone's murdered in a war, we need to take care of their families too. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you a story about some people that you may not think are homeless. This is a tough one. Several months ago, a woman, elderly, very elderly, had lived in the same apartment for over 60 years. She got married, she moved in there with her husband. They lived there, they raised children. Her husband died, her children also passed away. Last year, her apartment was sold to somebody that didn't have a name, but had a corporation name. Her rent was raised more than $600 a month. Put that in your budget and tell me how you'd do with that. She couldn't pay it. She was given an eviction notice. She had a cat. And her whole life was in that apartment. The pictures of her husband, her kids, her whole life. 60 years of life in that apartment. The police went in, they took the cat. She didn't get to take the cat with her. And they brought her to the homeless hospitality shelter with no place to go. Now you tell me that our elderly deserve that. Just think about it. I'll do everything in my power to help our homeless population. Our housing insecurity is at a max right now. People that are scared, people that are living in tents, that are living in their cars, that are living under bridges or living beside bridges. I know exactly where there's a little community of people, access to the highway so they can stand there and panhandle. Now, are some of those people afflicted with the disease of addiction? Yes. Are some of these people afflicted with the disease of mental illness? Yes. Most of us are. I don't know too many people that don't have some kind of mental character defect that need to be dealt with. You know, some of the names that they're giving to some of our finest citizens, they're the wrong names, people. Think about how you use your words. Think about the way that you talk about your neighbor that used to be a dude, and all of a sudden, she's beautiful. And you're like, what the heck? Don't be treating them wrong. If she wants to be a woman, she has a right to do that. If she wants to be a man, he has a right to do that. And some of them are born with that need. Are you going to listen to a guy with whatever color his hair is and a whatever color his face is, tell you how to treat them? I think not. Think about my words, people. Think about what I'm saying. I'm not running for city council to change the world. Well, maybe.
Yes, you are. One person at a time.
My friend Terri wrote a song, One Person Can Change the World.
Exactly.
And when my son died in 2018 of acute fentanyl poisoning, I had to change me. I was already a social worker type person. I was already doing this. I already had a degree, an associate's degree, not a big degree, but I already had a degree in human services. But I knew at that point that I needed to change things badly. So I went back to school. But we can't change the world right now. We can't change the stuff that's going on Capitol Hill. We can't do it.
Well, we can.
But wait, let me finish that statement. But we can change what's going on in our community, and that has a ripple effect. So, what are we going to do? We're going to vote for Ames for city council.
Exactly. What I was going to ask is how you think your previous life, has helped you to, how is it going to help you as a city councilor? Like all of your previous experiences.
Whew. Good question, Terri.
Because the homeless hospitality is a big part of you.
It is.
But there's other things that you've done in your life that also color who you are, and also have the chance to bring those things to the city council.
So there's so many, and some of them I probably shouldn't talk about on camera. But one of the things that I do, and I am, is transparent. I talk on Facebook every morning, and I try to bring complete and total honesty and transparency to the people that come to listen to that talk that I do. I believe that honesty, right to the very core, is one of the most important aspects and character affects that we can bring to the table. I come from some pretty, not tougher than anybody else, but I come from some tough upbringings. I grew up on a farm and shoveled horse manure from the time I could lift a shovel. Saw abuse and felt abuse, both physically, emotionally, mentally. I lived right next door to the parsonage across the street and the church right in front of our house. My grandparents had money and owned that church. People don't own the church. Yeah, they do. People do own churches. That's what mankind is all about. But I learned about spirituality as I came up, because I didn't know that's what I was learning, by the way, because I saw people that were spiritual as opposed to people that were religious. So that helps me in a small way. I started drinking at a very young age. I drank for 28 years, I think. I have now been sober from all alcohol and all illegal drugs for 32 years. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm proud of that. Am I an alcoholic? Once a pickle, always a pickle. But I'm a pickle that has been put properly in the right vinegar, and I know how to be eaten. You come to me and eat my pickle, and I'm going to give this city the best that I can. I'm going to give it my honesty. If someone's doing something wrong, what's the name? Whistleblower? Go ahead, mess with my city. So I bring those things to the table. I bring my sobriety. I bring my sense of self. It took a long time. I'm 65 years old. It took a long time to get to where I am today. I'm proud of that. I've worked hard to be the person I am. Historically, I own one of the most historical houses in New London, and I've done a lot of work to make her the beautiful queen that she is. The Charlotte and Holloway house, you can drive by and see how beautiful she looks now. She was falling apart when we bought her, and she's amazing now. I believe in the historical relevance of New London. I'm going to bring that to the table too. So I have all that stuff. I believe in New London. I believe in the people of New London. And I guess most importantly, I believe in me. When I'm elected,
Thank you.
thank you, Terri. When I'm elected, I'm going to do those things. However, when I'm a social worker at my daytime job, I'm going to keep doing what I do now, which is help my people in my community be all that they can be, give them kindness and hope, because that's what it's all about. City council is just a bite.
How do you think the arts have influenced
The
what you
arts. So one of the reasons, back in the day when I was about knee-high to a grasshopper, my grandmother said to me, she lived on Spithead Road out in Waterford, and she said, "Don't go hanging out in New London. Bad down there." That was in the 60s and 70s. And I couldn't wait to move here. Maybe because I was being told not to. Rebel has a cause. All I could see as I came up in this city, we would do things like I loved Bates Woods. Rocky was a dirty old ape, but he was so much fun. And there was Alice, and then there was a toucan that used to say really weird things too. But I loved Bates Woods. And then I was around for the very first Hygienic art show. The Hygienic used to be a restaurant where you could get a lobster dinner for $2. Serious. And it is now 40 plus years old. It's the best, well, no, that's not true. It's one of the best art galleries in New London County. And it provides space for art, multimedia, music, speeches, celebrations of life, you name it, the Hygienic art, everything does that. And I watched it have its first art show in January into February, decades ago. And that's just part of the arts. Let's talk about the Gard Art Center just for a minute. They are amazing. Steve and Jeannie have taken this old, rundown, beat-up theater. Oh my gosh. At the very beginning of the 80s, the walls were falling off. It was just horrible. And because of people in New London that cared about it, that got together and raised enough money to refurbish it and paint it back to the exact way it was when it was first opened, that theater is now the top historical theater in the country. That's ours, New London. Have you been to there lately? Oh my gosh, you're missing all the great shows. And with that comes the Eastern Connecticut Symphony Orchestra, which has their office right next door and plays there. As a matter of fact, tonight, as you're watching this, the Eastern Connecticut Symphony Orchestra are live on stage at the Gard. And you can find out more about that at thegard.org, gardartscenter.org, or ecso.org. Seriously. And then you walk down the street and there's art galleries and mom and pop shops and Sargent's Comics, one of the best comic book places anywhere. If you can't get your comic needs met there, then you can't. They're amazing. And they've been there for decades now. We have some of the best jewelry stores. We have lashes. You can go get your lashes made this long. It's I don't do it, but I know people that do. And we have art galleries all up and down Bank Street. And we have a brand new rec center. I would say thank you, Mayor Passero. I guess I just did. I have my own reserves about that, and you can talk to me about that. So I'm going to tell you that you can find me on Thinking Green. You can find everything you want about my history, and if you don't get your answers, write me a little note. My email is on there too, and that's just .ames at greenparty.org. So yeah, you can do that. And yeah, so that's what I bring to the table, blah, blah, blah.
This is what I noticed is that you know a lot of people by name. You know the people of your community and the people that have done things for the community. And, you know, by saying who they are and all of that, it just shows that you are somebody that is invested in your community, because they're not just places, they're people attached to those places.
Absolutely. Well, if you don't know the people that are running the places that you hang out at, why would you hang out there? There was a show back in the, 70s and 80s called Cheers. It's fun to go where everybody knows your name. Why? Because it's nice to be part of a group, a gathering. And if you know my name, then hopefully I know yours. And if you come up to me and I look at you and I'm like, it's because we haven't met face to face and we haven't talked about life. I have met so many people living in the city. I love this city. I love investing in people. People are important. Wait a minute. The spiritual world says we need to care for one another. What's that word? Kindness. Oh my God. We take what the Spirit gives us and give it away freely and learn Kim's name and Lynn's name and Frank's name and Deanna's name and Angel's name and Terry's name and JP Mill's name and the Siegel's names and Heidi's name, and I just got goosebumps again, because I could go on with names of people and point to where they're at in the city. Why? Because they're part of my community that I love. Doesn't make you want to vote for me, but it might make you interested in why I love this city. Walk down Bank Street and meet the guys from the Coast Guard that are here learning to be captains. Walk down Bank Street and meet people that are building the museum, the submarine, the Coast Guard Academy Museum, right? So go into the train station and meet the people that run the little coffee shop there. Go into any of the little shops along the way. Go up an elevator and go to a spa and meet Sarah, who is, I don't know the name for the anesthetician. Is that someone that works on faces? Is that the right word?
I don't know.
I don't know, but she works on faces and skin, and she's right there, right on State Street, and she's amazing. Meet these people. Go to Washington Street Coffee House and hang out for a couple of hours. Guaranteed you'll meet someone you can engage with and that you can learn something from. And I'm pretty sure they can learn something from you. I love this city.
Are there any other big issues that you want to touch upon?
Okay, so I don't know where to go first. I've already touched on housing. So part of my concern with housing is the historical preservation of this city. Since the 1600s, this city has been historically relevant, okay? I don't know if any of you have ever heard the name Benedict Arnold. Oh, he's a traitor. Guess what? He wasn't a traitor. He was given a job by the federal government. He did it, and they refused to pay him. So, that's not the whole story. Go look it up. I'm not going to waste my time. Benedict Arnold came back and burned down New London. As a show of love and a show of we love our city, New London rebuilt. It rebuilt. You know why? Because they were not going to let one person that was pissed off at the U.S. government ruin what we had here in New London. The historical relevance of the buildings here in New London is so important. And I believe in it, or I wouldn't have bought the Charlotte. She wasn't named that before I bought her, but it is her name. Anyway, the historical relevance and needs of the preservation of New London is so important. And there's a whole bunch of historical buildings with very little work could house veterans. Just a thought. Just a thought. So that's housing. I've touched on that, and cities and organization. Oh, here we go. I shouldn't have gotten off on this foot. There are cities that are outside our fair city and organizations that are not part of this city, and I've seen this happen, and I went to our senator and I said, Anthony, this is happening. And he told me why it could happen and what was supposed to prevent it. Because it hasn't really changed, and it will take some legwork to get it to change. I'm not going to go into the depth of it, but there are organizations and institutions that when people are discharged from there, those people are brought to New London. Those people are homeless. They have very little, if any, money, very little, if any, changes of clothes, no place to shower, no place to, poop. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do? So they go to the homeless hospitality shelter that is full. Full. All the way full. Winter's coming, people. What are we going to do with those people then? But we can't let these institutions and organizations just be bringing their, okay, we're discharging you. You've been sober for 30 days. Go to New London.
You need a plan.
We need a plan. And we need a plan with the cities and organizations and institutions outside of New London. We need to all sit down together and figure out how we can make this all work, even if they're investing some fiscal responsibility into what they're bringing to our city. Something has to change. A lot has to change. And if we're going to save this city, each one of us has to change. That means we have to go out and vote. So, there we go.
Let people know, again, how they can get in touch with you.
Okay.
And then I'm going to...
So this is my little thing. See, that is cute. He's going to show it on the thing. Anyway, nlgreens.org. You can go to .nlgreens.ames@nlgreens.org. There's also, I think it's on the screen, but there's a little QR code down here. And that QR code will take you where you can find things out and make a donation. Not to me. I don't see a penny. I don't need I don't need your money. Not for running for city council. I need your vote. I don't just need I want your vote. And quite frankly, let me sound a little narcissistic. I deserve your vote. I want to save my city. I want to be a part of my city. I want to see my city thrive, grow, and be lived in and loved in. I want my community to gather together for festivals. I want the people that live here to love here. I want people to walk by my house and say, oh, that's the Charlotte. Hi, Dot. I want to sit on my front porch swing and wave at people and love people. I want the dogs in my city to feel safe. I want the elderly drivers that being run over by little tiny motorcycles to feel safe. I want my city, the city that is older than time. 1600s, we come from way back then. Don't we deserve to be remembered historically in this country? Are we going to die because the rest of this country is dying? No, we don't have to. But we do need to make changes in this city, and I'm one of them.
If I didn't ask you a certain question, what question should I have asked you? I thought I did a pretty good job.
I think you did a great job. So one thing we haven't touched on that I'd really like to remind you all of, one of the things that my kindness platform really touches on. When COVID happened, let's all take a little walk backwards. Let's go back to 2020. All of a sudden there's no toilet paper. There was no greens. There was no meat. I remember when you couldn't get chicken. I remember when you certainly couldn't get a good piece of steak. You couldn't get, the seafood department was empty. COVID. Do you remember COVID? What COVID taught me and us is that we need to encourage homegrown. So one of the things that is going on in New London that kind of has some wrinkles in it is raising chickens. You can raise, you have to get a permit, you're supposed to get a permit to raise chickens. And the the rules that are around raising chickens are not very tightly adhered to, and they should be. Not for the sake of the chickens, but for the sake of the people around the chickens. Chickens make manure, and manure doesn't smell good. And male roosters make noise at really dark 30 in the morning. Now that doesn't faze me, I get up then. But some people don't like to get up at 3:30 in the morning when the chicken is out going, what? So we need to look at how to raise protein, and we need to encourage people to do some raised bed growing in their yards. If you have enough room for a 10 by 6 foot raised bed, do it. You can raise so much in that. That space is huge. You can grow peppers and tomatoes and corn and what else? Whatever, strawberries, herbs. Garlic. All those wonderful things. We need to help our community learn how to survive without the outside world. I don't think that we should not do fair trading. I believe that we need to fair trade, but we need to learn to be able to stand on our own. And if your neighbor grows a lot of tomatoes and you grow a lot of peppers, think of that spaghetti sauce. Seriously, when you share. And they knew that back in pioneer time. They shared. It's called kindness. I can't get away from that word. It's what it's all about. So if you missed anything, it was the food thing. We really need to be self-advocating to feed ourselves and to feed our neighbors. So just one more thing.
If somebody in the audience isn't registered to vote, how can they register to vote?
Call me. I can help you register to vote in 5 minutes. It doesn't cost you any money. All you need is an ID. If you're not registered to vote, get a hold of me. Or you can just go to, do I have my thing? Vote. Okay,
like
so
vote.org
on the Green Party page, there's another QR code. There's 3 of them. There's one for donating, one for just a candidates page, and one for voting. One for donating, one for voting, and one for a candidates page. And you can go there and you click on it, and it will take you right to how to vote, and it will walk you through it. And if you don't understand it, please call me. Please find me. You can find me all over Facebook. I mean, seriously.
And Instagram.
Ames, Instagram. I'm out there. And if I'm walking the street, walk up to me and say, aren't you Ames? And I'll say, yes. Can I help you with something? And you can tell me what I can help you with. And if I can, guess what? We'll sit down right there and we'll type out your vote. We'll get it done. I can do it on my phone. I can register your vote on my phone. 5 minutes, and you're registered. That's all it takes. And then you can go to your poll and you walk in with pride because it's your right to vote. It's also your responsibility as an American. I met a young lady this weekend that had just the day before gotten her citizenship on Friday, and I was at an event on Saturday. And I said, did you register to vote yet? She said, I just got my citizenship yesterday. I was so proud of her. I hugged her and we cried together. She was so proud to finally be an American. That's what it's all about, people. People helping people, being kind to people, and living in a community where it can all be like that. You know, it doesn't have to be mean and rude and murderous and hateful and guns and war and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't have to be like that. It could be like us hanging out, having fun. It's too much fun.
Yep, and then I'm guessing it's the last, but I don't know. I don't know when we're cutting this off, but I do want to say, like, where will people find you? Like, you're campaigning right now.
I am. I'm everywhere.
Yes. Are there certain like events that that you might be at that they have a chance to actually show up and meet you, or?
I would have said today, but not today. Saturday, which is tonight. This morning, there was an art stroll. There's going to be a fall food stroll out in downtown New London. That's a place. I hang out downtown New London. I often sit out on my front porch. You can always find me hanging around William Street. I shop at ShopRite. Walk up to me in ShopRite and say, "I know you. I'd be glad to talk with you." You can find me on my websites. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me at my Green Party email. Please feel free to email me. I will absolutely email you back. Absolutely. Within 24 hours. I don't get to every single person every single minute that they do, but I get there every day. And I'll do my best to stay on top of it. You can find me. Just look for me. I'm .Ames on Facebook. I'm real easy to find there. I have a few thousand followers. So it's pretty easy. You type my name in and I'm going to come up. I'm not the only person with colored hair, but I'm the only person in New London that flaunts it the way that I do.
There you go. Yep. So it sounds like people can find you.
Yep.
It sounds like you have things that you definitely stand for.
Absolutely.
And it's evident, of course, that you are passionate about this community and about preserving it and having it be everything that you have as a dream for it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Thank
any
you.
parting words for anybody?
Yeah, after the election, November 13th is a Thursday this year, and around the world, November 13th is known as World Kindness Day. So, a couple of years ago, I went to Barbara Neff, who's pretty important in putting things together in New London, and I said, I have an idea. She thought it was a great idea. So last year was the first annual World Kindness Day is celebrated in New London. New London celebrates World Kindness Day. On November 13th this year, it's being run a little differently, and the merchants in the area will be doing random acts of kindness, and at 6 o'clock on Bank Street at the Social, there'll be a really great band. The Connecticut Hope Collective will be playing for free, but there's going to be a suggested donation, and every penny raised is going straight to the New London Homeless Hospitality. There'll be cake, you can buy drinks, you can buy dinner, you can eat, you can drink, you can watch this amazing band. Oh my gosh, musicians from all over the state are in this band, and they do not ever play for profit. They always play to raise money for an organization. So they're going to be together. It's going to be that's November 13th. So go out and vote, then go out and celebrate who you voted for winning.
Exactly.
And we'll see you there. But before that, find me on the street, find me walking around, find me talking around, write to me, call me, anything you want. And thank you all for checking in.
Well, thank you so much for having this opportunity to talk to all your constituents and people that are now going to be your constituents.
Thank you,
and
Terri.
people that vote for you.
Thank you so much. Are we done? 5, 4, 3, 2.